It's getting real. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We back in the building. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another edition, another installment, another episode of your favorite sports show. You feel what I'm saying? The Grounded Out Sports Show is back in business, baby. You feel me? Listen, we are back with another week, another show, another episode. Just from a common fan, man. Common fan, sports fan, more basketball than anything, just a common fan, just opinions from a common fan that talks a lot of basketball with, a few sprinkles of some, some things in between. And we do have some things, a lot more in between things than basketball things to get into today. But if this is your first time tuning us or checking us out, please subscribe to the channel. We are live on YouTube right now. So shout out to everybody that is in our subscribers pool. You feel what I'm saying? Who is subscribed to the THC Media Network, whether you listen to this show or watch this show or listen to any other of our amazing shows that are on our network. We appreciate you. We love you. And we thank you. As I said at the beginning of the show, we have a lot more in between things, right? And though some of those in between things may be wrestling, because I'm a big wrestling um, 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 kind of fanatic in a sense. I do like football in a sense. It is football season. It has started. So we're gonna call my cousin Scrap, who is also the co-host of the Opinionated Brother podcast, and we'll do some picks with Scrap, and we'll talk week one scores from the NFL and how a lot of these games went, right? I've seen a lot of highlights because I love highlights. I love NFL highlights, right? I think during this season, the one thing I love to see is NFL highlights. And week one ended in some things that I didn't think it was going to happen. And I don't like to be a person who, sits here and tries to, foretell the future, right? But it's some things that, you gotta kind of just look out for when it's week one that you kind of got a nip in the bud, and we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. So Scrap will be on a little later in the show, but we'll talk a little basketball, a little Robert Sarver, I think that's his name, and we'll talk. I think what else we have on the docket? I think that's the like only basketball thing we have on the docket. But other than that, we're going to talk the Dark Side of the Ring, which was a Vice produced and directed docu kind of series that I'm still kind of tapping into. I'm on season 2 right now. I just got done with the Chris Benoit episodes, and that series, if you are a wrestling fan of any kind, and if you love history in any type of way, especially wrestling history, I think it is a great docu series to get into, especially the honestly, no pun intended, the dark side of the ring, really, because we don't hear as fans, we don't hear about what's going on the back end, right? I remember Chris Benoit dying, and before that, them reporting that he killed his wife and his child, and I was like, because I was a Chris Benoit fan at the time, so that was crazy. So we'll get into a little bit of that, and what else we got into on the docket? There's something else. There was something else. There was ah that white man, Brett Favre, right? 3-time Super Bowl champion. He played for the Green Bay Packers. He is also in the hot seat, just like kind of Robert Sarver, in a sense, of stealing money. Right now, I think he's already been, taken to court for what he's been taken to court for in the million that he stole from the welfare fund for the uh, people of Mississippi. And it was been reported that he stole much more, and we'll get into that as well. So let's just start off with the um let's start off with the LeBron uh and what did I call him? River surfer. Lord have mercy. Give me 1 second, y'all. I called him Rob. If y'all listening right now, I'm editing my stuff right now because I called him, you know, Rob. His name is Robert Server. I guess I tapped in River Server, River Server. Um, and I said that Robert, Mr. Sarver, should be banned um from the NBA. Uh, you know, you've been accused and charged of and convicted of, honestly, sexual favors, or calling the N word, and just things that are not of the dignity and the image like of the NBA. Now, we heard this is very, very similar to the whole Donald Sterling thing, right? Of how Donald Sterling literally, who was the former, I believe, owner of the Clippers, um, how he was using a lot of racial slurs and, you know, trying to be very promiscuous with the women over there. And what is it with white men in power, promiscuity, and just thinking that you have the audacity, right? I don't know. I think if it was me, I would punch one of those people in the face. But in watching so many documentaries, and even now, in watching so many documentaries, and how people move when there are people in power, not just white men in power, right? But just people in those power who hold your position in their hands, right? Robert Sarver was one of those people. He's an owner, right? A lot of people called him cheap. From what reports are saying, a lot of owners called him one of the cheapest owners, right? So when you have your constituents, in a sense, really kind of, not even giving you that time of day, you're at the end of the day, you in your mind, as Mr. Sarver, still believes that you have this power and you can do whatever you do whatever you do, say what you want to say, and that nothing will come to light. And what's done in the dark will always come to the light. And you've done a lot of dark things. And so, he got hit what we call a slap on the wrist, right? Uh and I just honestly think that was just
Trash.
it was. I think it was like $10 million is the most they could find him. And I think he was banned from any Phoenix dealing with anything Phoenix Suns for the entire year. And the face of the league, Mr. LeBron James himself, King James, decided that that wasn't a harsh enough penalty, in which I agree. And so, let's read what Mr. Braun had to say. Let's pull that up right now. I have it up right now on on the video. I want to pull it up on my phone really quick. So he said, read through the Sarver stories a few times now. I got to be honest, our league definitely got this wrong. I don't need to explain why. Y'all read the stories and decide for yourself. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. There's no place in this league for that kind of behavior. I love this league and I deeply respect our leadership, but this isn't right. There is no place for misogyny, sexism, and racism in any workplace. Don't matter if you own the team or play for the team. We hold our league up as an example of our values, and this ain't it. One more time. That's what he said, guys. Guys. That's what he said, guys. And he's not wrong at all. I agree with him 100%. Misogyny, sexism, and racism does not even belong in the NBA. And it hasn't. Adam Silver has done a great job of really cleaning that shit up around there. And it's with the help of the leadership of those of LeBron James and Chris Paul's of the world who have really spoke to a lot of the injustices that come not just with a black skin, but as a woman, okay, and others who have been marginalized in our country. And so it's ridiculous as the NBA and the NBA can say, that's as much as we can do. And because there wasn't concrete evidence, the owners really didn't or couldn't vote in a sense to really get him out of there. Well, as a lot of reporters such as Chris Broussard and Rob Parker from the Odd Couple said, and others have said on multiple platforms, it's really not about y'all voting him out. If the Phoenix Suns and other teams don't want to go to Phoenix to play, they don't have to. That's how powerful the players are nowadays. And low key, there's a rising to somewhat superstar on damn near every team now, especially the teams that we talk about that have playoff to championship potential. So when you have that type of power where every player who's a star, rising star, or superstar in this league has not only influence, but has even a dose of power in the NBA. You combine that and you say, hey, we're not playing it in Phoenix. Hey, the Phoenix Suns can say, we ain't doing it either, bruh. Cool, we on cahoots. So every team that has Phoenix on their schedule, they ain't going. And every team that is coming to Phoenix, they ain't playing. So there's empty arenas, bought season tickets. Season tickets probably have sold out. Imagine that. Imagine that. The players did it. The players have done it before. They've said we ain't playing. We're not doing it. We've done it. We will do it again. And it will be led by LeBron James. And I don't think he has this man has made over a $500 million in the NBA. He don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about. LeBron ain't giving a fuck about what y'all talking about, bro. He done made over $500 million. He's worth over $1 billion. What are we talking about here? Okay. Like, I know the owners pay you, Adam, but at this point, I'm trying to get in so you could pay me too. Or so I can pay you too. So I got that type of power. And I have that type of power. So I don't even know why you playing with me like that. Get him up out of here. He shouldn't even be here. Why is he still here? Get him up out of here. He shouldn't even have no association with the NBA. And when LeBron starts to get players on, all I'm saying is, do not let the basketball players' powers that be start to rally, because first of all, it's already happened. Never mind. It's already happening. You got the league leader. Like, cut out his play, cut out everything like that. He's still looked at as the face of the league. Period. And so when you have LeBron James sitting there telling you this ain't it, literally, this ain't it, then you need to take a hard look at what's going on at the situation. Take a hard look at what's going on in Phoenix. Take a hard look at Mr. Sarver. And a decision needs to be made before nobody makes no money. You feel what I'm saying? Like, for real. Listen, I'm just saying, taking out one team For other teams, is not that pricey. But Phoenix though, Phoenix will take a hit. So it'll be like either he goes or you ain't gonna really make no money this year. And the one thing a business owner won't more than anything is that cash. So yeah, man. Um, Lord have mercy. That's one white man. Let's go to another white man, right? Let's go. It's weird because you know these older white guys are just acting a fool. It's just ridiculous. So Brett Favre, and it's funny. Shout out to my cousin Marcus. He was a big Brett Favre fan. So I don't want to hurt his feelings when I talk about his favorite, uh, either one of or his favorite quarterback. I'm sorry, you feel me? Because I love you. But Brett Favre is in the news. And not for the compression socks he be doing and everything like that. Them sock commercials. No, he is in the news because he has been taking money from the state of Mississippi. Um, well, I'll put it. I'll say it like this. How about this? He was in cahoots with the governor of Mississippi and using the welfare fund to get money, basically. So, in layman's terms, the governor was putting money in his account or shipping him money or check or money order, whatever it was. Um, Taking that money out from the welfare fund that was for the people of Mississippi. Now, as everybody has been saying, um, Mississippi is the poorest state in the country. Now, I love my MI, cricket letter I, cricket letter I, humpback I, Mississippi proud, proud. I love y'all. You feel me? Shout out to all my people in Mississippi. That's a different type of strength. I was born in the South. I was born in Florida, but that deep southern strength, that's a different type of strength. Because the fact is that it literally we that's one of the states where we really have to we got to do better in Mississippi. Period. Right? We, not the Mississippians. We, the ones outside, we have to help them. That's just period. You feel me? And we talked about on the Opinionated Brother podcast about how Jackson, Mississippi is literally having either no to dirty water, right? And with me being from Flint, Michigan, I also discussed a little bit about how this is all just like merging together from Flint because if y'all don't know the Flint situation, Flint had a lot of lead, if not even still lead to this day in their water because of the governor switching the sewage or the water companies and the sewage pipes and did not notify anybody and nothing happened. And so when we have this situation, right, we're already Jackson, right? Mississippi already doesn't have the water it needs to survive, right? Like think about this. Think about this. And it sucks because it's aligning with it, right? But you have to really think about it as such. Mississippians are trying to get it as much as they can, especially in the condition that they are in with this whole water crisis. Now you're telling me, and I'm just in my head as a Mississippian, right? Just in my head, right? Putting myself in a Mississippian shoes. You're telling me that this white man who's also from Mississippi, let's say that, okay? Who's also from Mississippi, rich Mississippi boy now. Remember, I believe he made about 135, 140 million during his career. You got money. Okay. Unless you spend all of that sniffing, doing whatever. Okay. Drinking, I don't know. Doing whatever. Okay. You took not only, because they reported before that he took $1 million, right, out of the welfare fund. Now he claims he didn't know where it came from. He just know the governor gave him the money. Okay, cool, no problem. But then you're telling me you didn't know that it was coming from the welfare fund. Now, not only did you take $1 million, you took $5 million. So $5 million of the money. And let's keep it a bean. We know what welfare is, right? It's for us. Okay. Let's keep that a bean, right? You took that money that was supposed to be for people who really, really needed that. And you blew it. Did you even give it back? Did you even help the people in your well, you probably helped the people in your community, your gated community, right? That's what you did, right? It's just funny to me. Like I I've never watched Brett Favre play. I've never. The only time I've watched Brett Favre is on those, literally on those compression sock commercials. So when I always see a white man of any type taking from the hand of the black, honestly, and that's how I'll say it. Because it can be a black woman, black man, or black child. He will take. He may not take physically, but honestly, he's taking monetarily, obviously. It sticks to my stomach. It screams privilege. It screams entitlement. It screams, I can do this because I'm the governor. Because let's not leave the governor out of this. Because there's a possibility that good old, Brett Favre didn't know. But the governor knew. The governor knew that he was sliding, maybe 100,000 here, 200,000 here every month or every 2 weeks, however he was getting paid. And that was coming from the welfare fund. That was supposed to help the people of Mississippi. And so again, now that this goes into this media frenzy of the water crisis down in Jackson, Mississippi, that has been happening for a minute now, actually. It just it's showing a lot. And it's showing where people's mindsets are when it comes to poor people, when it comes to people who are not as wealthy or not as successful, or what the world deems as successful, and what America hasn't put into the infrastructure of or helped rebuild in some of these states, especially Mississippi. And for a president to really not care, it's sad. It's sad upon your leadership. Because for me, you can send all the National Guards out there you want. Bottled water here, bottled water there. We just watched a doc, or we just seen something on how literally Dasani and Aquafina are literally tap water. So the Dasani that could be made locally or statewide that's maybe in Mississippi. Come on now. Like do y'all get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's tied into the whole Brett Favre situation, but the similarities in what is going on and how people are just taking away from Mississippi is sickening. It's really, really sickening. And I don't like it. And if there's anybody who knows how I could help with donating water or what, like something in that form, please let me know. Please let me know in the comments. Real comments only. I don't have time for the fake shit. Like for real, I'm trying to help out for real because I do it with Flint a little bit, and I you know I want to do the same with Jackson. So um yeah, please let me know in the comments. All right. So after that, we got the dark side of the ring, right? So let me tell y'all about this show, y'all. Listen. The dark side of the ring. Man, it was some stories in there that, you know, kind of knew about. Most of these stories I was definitely not old enough to even one be alive, and two, if I was alive, I was a toddler. Right? I was born in 94. So, most of this happened in like the 80s, 90s, when I was, in my mother's womb, not even thought of to the world, then in my mother's womb and then coming out. So it was I didn't get into wrestling until maybe the early 2000s, maybe like 2001 to, type of thing. And so it was like 2000, 2001. Yeah, that's when I really got into wrestling and SmackDown. Like SmackDown was the first brand that I turned to. But anyway, um the Dark Side of the Ring is one of those documentary series that I think if you are a real wrestling fan, it's very interesting for you to get into. I've finished season 1. I'm in season 2 now. And man, when I tell y'all season 2, well, season 1 was crazy, right? I think the craziest one for me was the Montreal screw job, and or the craziest ones for me was the Montreal screw job, and the fabulous Moolah, right? What I didn't know about the screw job is that I think Sean, or what is to be told, is that Sean was in on it. Now, I did see, when Brett came in WWE and they hashed it out and yada yada. But, you know, I kind of agree with Brett, right? Um, I'm the champion and I want to go out as such. I'll hand over the title, vacate the title, and that's it. We've seen a lot of plays like that. Why couldn't it be like that? Is it because that Vince, knew he was going to WCW? Probably, but I mean, Vince was ruthless, and a lot of the shit that he did, just on screen and what we, know from folks or what has been told off screen. So, he ruled with an iron fist over WWE. That was it, and said and chose to screw over Brett. And what Brett told us, or what Brett told through the screen, is he literally punched the shit out of Vince McMahon. Woo! Punched that man in the like. I mean, uppercut his ass to the point where he fell off the ground. He fell. He his feet came up off the ground and he fell back. Like, yeah. Sometimes you got to take a couple in the wrestling business for real sometimes. But um hey, I mean, I do believe Brett got screwed because I was just like, what the hell? How you do that? But I think the most interesting one for me though was the Fabulous Moolah, right? So far. Um Now I've heard of Mae Young. Mae Young was her I always wondered who the Fabulous Moolah was because they were still I was still watching them on like SmackDown for real. Like they would come on SmackDown, her and Mae Young. Shout out to them. And rest in peace to both of them. But I they had it up there and I was like, really? She was a part of Dark Side. Interesting. And it's not like part of the dark side, you know. It ain't none of that. But it's like it tells you kind of the unglamorous parts of the wrestling world, what people don't want you to hear. And I will always say the wrestling world, in a sense, was almost like social media, right? And I think this is why WWE and social media merged so well together, is because WWE kind of formulated a blueprint of giving you the character, the outer surface layer of who I am, or not even just a character, and I'm going to play this character, and then when I get home, off this screen, off the light, when the lights are off, boom, 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 I'm human again. A lot of acting, a lot of all of so yeah. But I think with the Fabulous Moolah, to know that she had, Moolah Drive and she was, you know, not only one of the first women to um be big and be a superstar in wrestling, but the first woman to really talent book and to put on and um to help the first black woman's wrestler. You know what I'm saying? One of the first black women wrestling, Sweet Georgia Brown. I've heard of Sweet Georgia Brown. Even though, even though in that documentary, the children of Miss Sweet Georgia Brown said that Fabulous Moolah didn't treat her right, which during that time, I do believe. Any black person during that time wasn't probably treated right. And as her being the first black woman to wrestle, when you're being managed by the Fabulous Moolah and her business partner, and you're kind of better than the Fabulous Moolah, you're ranked number 4 in the world. Oh, yeah, they're trying to keep you on a leash and they're going to do whatever they can to do it. So it's just things like that. It's the Macho Man Randy Savage one. It's just some good ones on there that I believe, um, as wrestling fans, I think we need to check out if you haven't already, right? And if you have already, why did you keep this away from me? Y'all should have said something. Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? I like wrestling documentaries. What's wrong with y'all? All right, let's get Scrap on the line real quick, or see if we can get him on the lines. Hold on, see if we can get him on the lines. See if we can get Cousin Scrap on the lines. See if we can get him on the lines. Let's see. Let's see. Uh-oh. I don't think we can get him. Uh-oh. I think he's driving. I think he's driving, guys.
Please leave your
Dang, we got the please leave your message. Womp, womp, womp. All right. Well, that's all right. We got the picks that we on. Hold on. He said, give me a sec. All right, no problem. All right, cool. No problem. No problem. No problem. But listen, we got some things to talk about, right? All right, so we're back with the NFL. You feel what I'm saying? Here again, right? Told y'all we got a lot more sprinkle in betweens than basketball talk today. And the NFL did some week 1 was very exciting. I seen a lot of highlights this for week one. I was excited for week one. I was really excited for this season. I really don't get excited for football season, but I don't know what it is about this season in particular. I don't know if it's Tom Brady coming back and then thinking about retiring, then coming back and then thinking about retiring, then coming back. Hey man, y'all. Hey, Tom Brady is hilarious, bro. That man is like, yo, if I get hit one more time, I'm out this bitch. You heard me? I'm gone. Y'all hit me one more. Hey, O line, defend me. What is wrong with y'all? Jesus. Oh man, but week one did go off without a hitch. I saw a lot of people talking about it. So let's briefly go over while Scrap is getting ready. Let's briefly go over some of the scores and then we'll go over some of the scores with him. So Denver versus Seahawks. Denver lost to the Seahawks by 1 point. As you know, Russell Wilson left the Seahawks, went to Denver, got paid handsomely to be over at Denver. And this was honestly one of those games where, hey, I see you, you see me. What's good? Old team, new team, what's happening? And to a quarterback standard, Russell Wilson had a good game, right? I think he had a TD. Threw for 340, believe somewhere up in there. He had 199 during the uh on third downs, or I believe in the third quarter, he had 199 yards, you know. Um, but for some reason, the coach, and I don't know his name, but the coach decided to put the kicker in to kick a 64 or something or 60 plus yarder. And I'm like, now I play Madden Mobile, right? And in none of the games I'm playing am I about to on any of the fourth and anything am I about to kick the field goal. If I'm in range, I'm going for the play. But even I'm not about to kick no 64-yard field goal, right? Like that's stupid. Now you gotta have like I mean, you gotta have some strength up in there. You gotta have some like hockey up in that thing, and that's a One Piece reference for people who understand it. Like you gotta have some strength up in there. Like you gotta bomb that thing. You almost gotta break your leg. Like your hip bone almost gotta come out of place for you to get up there like that. Cause what? But okay. And you let it and you didn't let Russell Wilson do his thing. And that's why he came to Denver, so he could do his thing. Because obviously Pete Carroll wouldn't let him do his thing. So when he wanted to come over and do his thing, you didn't let him do his thing. And this is why I said these are some things in week one that have to get nipped in the bud. Because now everybody's looking at Denver's coach like, okay, listen, you got one more time. And that's it. We done paid this man $250. He really wanted to play. He was hot. You should have just gave him the ball. Even if he didn't get the touchdown, I believe Russell would have got you up to at least the 20, the 25, 20-yard line. So you could have kicked a field goal, my nigga. A clean one that would have went through. So the game would have been like 19-17. Your go. You fucked up. Oh well. Come back, this week. You feel me? Baltimore beat New Jersey. The New Jersey. I'm sorry, the New York Jets. New Jersey. Um, New York Jets by 24-9. And y'all know I got Baltimore going to the Super Bowl. I want Lamar Jackson to win his second MVP. So, this is a good start for us. Shout out to y'all. Cleveland and Carolina. Cleveland won by 2 points, 26-24. And another one when it comes to, hey, old team, new team. Baker Mayfield left Cleveland because, Cleveland didn't want him and he got mad and everything like that. Boohoo crying and wham, wham, wham. And he came to Carolina and almost had it again. It's a lot of these almost had it. This ain't horseshoe. I need y'all to get out the horseshoe mindset. This is not it. This is not it. Okay? I need y'all to get out of the horseshoe mindset, right? Because this is not it. Y'all got to come on. Do I think Baker Mayfield can make a splash this season? Uh yeah, as much as he can give himself. If he doesn't take himself too seriously and just does what he does on the field, like he did when he took Oklahoma to the Final Four in the college finals. Um, just do what you need to do. Use the weapons that's around you and don't worry about the other shit. Just do what you need to do. Now this was an interesting one. The Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts had a 1-1. You know, had a tie this game. Interesting because I haven't really seen a tie in a while. So we'll see what happens with Indianapolis and Houston. The Jaguars lost to the Washington Commanders. Is that the team? I think that's the team. Which is interesting. Obviously the Washington Commanders. That name is just interesting as hell. The Washington Commanders, huh? I honestly just like Washington football team. It should just been Washington football. I don't know. Washington football team just made it feel so high school, right? But even still, some high school teams just be I don't know. Their names be better. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But damn, Jacksonville, I wanted y'all to be good. After Jacksonville made that run in the playoffs, I think it was like to the NFC championship. They ain't been good since. And I'm like, where the hell have y'all been? They went like, they went like 12 or something? Had to be, right? And they blew it in the NFC Championship game, I think. Yeah, they were supposed to win. Sick. It's like, what do you. Well, then this was a pretty bad game. Had a pretty bad, some pretty bad games this week, too, right? This was one Miami clipping New England and 20-7, and it wasn't a big lead, but for New England only to score 7 points to a Miami team, which Miami is good this year and will be good and has honestly been good. I think they just have to have trust in their quarterback. I think Tua is their quarterback, so I think the trust that they have to have in Tua, I think, relies on the coaching staff and the organization as a whole. But to know like New England can and everybody's been raving about the new quarterback. Well, not raving, but just saying that the new quarterback over in New England has a chance. I think I think he's number 11 or something like that. I don't know his name, but um, 7 points. Okay, if we banking on defense, um, to maybe win games here, you got to make sure your quarterback can at least control the offense. So shout out to them. Hopefully they have a good season. Um, Atlanta and New Orleans. Now, I thought Atlanta won this game at I thought because DC Young Fly put on his Instagram that you know Atlanta beat the Saints. And I'm like, oh, word? Okay. Come through, turn up. But as I'm looking here, I'm like, well, what the hell happened in that one point? What did they do? Right? What happened? New Orleans. Damn. But don't sleep on Atlanta, right? That's all I gotta say. For real, for real. This game right here was kind of sad to me. I really wanted my Lions to win this. Philly beat the Lions 38-35. New Orleans scored with Atlanta 27-26. It was a close game. Another close game, Philly, Detroit, 30-35. Watch the highlights of this. Um, I'm actually, and I don't say this often, but I'm actually pretty excited for the Lions season. Um, I haven't seen us put 35 points up on the board and hang with teams, not just elite teams, but teams in a while, right? And even though we lost here, the fact that we can hang with Philly in the way that we did, I think we put more of a pressure on them than I think they did us. Um, I think we dropped the ball on a couple plays here and there, but I think at the end of the day, if we have this same type of tenacity, and y'all don't sleep on Jared Goff. Like I need y'all not to sleep on Jared Goff. Jared Goff did go to a fucking Super Bowl. He may not have won, but he did go to a Super Bowl. So please don't sleep on Jared Goff. He was just with the Rams, not even I believe in 2018, 2019. So don't sleep on Jared Goff. He did go to a Super Bowl, and I believe like yo, Jared Goff can do a little something, little bit of something with his offense. And I'm saying if there's offense in this, like we'll figure out the defense a little later. But if this offense can keep what it's doing, I think you know what? No, I believe even if we're a wild card team, that we will make the playoffs. Period. I will say it. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati 23-20. I literally watched the highlights of this game. Joe Burrow was supposed to win this game. I'm not even gonna hold you. Joe Burrow was supposed to win this game. Literally, it was like 2 or 3 plays that he missed that I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. You had this in the bag. You could have won this by 14. Easy, easy, easy. But you know who wasn't easy? TJ Watt. You feel me? He kept coming. Listen, Joe Burrow, I believe, got sacked like what 70? They said like 50 sometimes, maybe 70 sometimes. It was between those numbers, right? He got sacked a lot. And TJ Watt didn't let the fuck up either. He said, nope. He sacked him at least because they highlighted it. He got sacked at least 4 times. At least 4 times by TJ. And that was crazy. Joe Burrow, that O line needs to help you out. And don't be afraid of the moment. Go for it. You could have beat Pittsburgh 23-20, Pittsburgh. San Fran and Chicago. Chicago won 1910. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with San Fran's new quarterback. They believe in him. And I know they got Jimmy Garoppolo in the wing, but yo, Jimmy G, listen, as bad as everybody say Jimmy G is, Jimmy G still took y'all to some NFC championship games and a Super Bowl, I believe. So don't hate on Jimmy just because he couldn't get it done, in 1 year. Critique him, give your opinion, of course, but don't hate on the man just because he didn't. You know what? I hope that Jimmy G plays outstandingly well this year. Like, for real. Not in spite of the newest quarterback that's there, but kind of in spite of what the media, owners, maybe GMs and front office may or might be saying. For real. Real talk. Because I look at a guy like T.O. T.O. can still run a what, 4? He said he can still run a 450. That's pretty fast to me. T.O. doesn't need to be running doesn't need to be running all the way willy nilly down the field anyway. You give him some slant routes, he'll be fine. Short routes, he'll be fine. Yo, I'm looking at T.O. like, hey, you want to come to the Lions, nigga? Like, come to the Lions. Like, stop playing. Come to the Lions, man. Jeez, they ain't treating you right over there. Oh man. Green Bay and Minnesota. Minnesota beat Green Bay 23-7. I'm not shocked here. Um, Green Bay lost a lot of assets, and their new assets are not, well equipped yet to probably handle not only the bright lights of the NFL, but actually the hard hitting hits of the NFL too, especially at that fast pace. So I believe Green Bay will bounce back, but don't sleep on also Minnesota. All right. Kansas City versus the Arizona Cardinals. This was Kyler Murray versus Patrick Mahomes, and this was nowhere close. Nowhere close. Kansas City won literally by 23 points. Um, Patrick Mahomes put up 5 TDs, uh, 44 points. I believe he had over 300 yards. Um, it was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And if he continues to play like this, he will be with Lamar Jackson in the running for MVP. And yes, I'm still going to put him in the running. But five TDs, hey, Seuss, it was crazy. I was like, this man is bonkers. And whoever didn't put Patrick Mahomes at like number one or even top 2 or 3 in the quarterback position, y'all are stupid. Like, we can argue Tom Brady at number one all day, but I won't refute you. We can argue it, but I won't refute it. Now, number 2, I don't know who's better than Patrick Mahomes right now. Who? 4 straight AFC title appearances. 2 of them he won. Okay, so he's a 2-time AFC title holder. That means he went to the Super Bowl twice, and he's won 1. So a Super Bowl championship, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and 4 AFC championship appearances. And what are we talking about? Right? Didn't he throw for like 5,000 plus yards one year? Was it the year that he won the Super Bowl? What are we talking about? So is it out the realm that he couldn't win MVP? Absolutely not. This man could definitely win MVP. But I'm gonna just go with Lamar Jackson. Las Vegas lost to the Alizé. The LA Chargers 19-24. The New York Giants lost to Tennessee 21-20. Tampa Bay beat Dallas 19-3, and in that, Dallas actually lost Dak Prescott for the millionth thousandth time. It's interesting because Dak at this point is becoming and I don't even want to say it like this, but no, I'm not gonna say it because you know what? Yeah, because I can put him and Anthony Davis in the same category. He's becoming the Anthony Davis of his own league. Like, Anthony Davis is injury prone. He's great. He's a great player, but he's injury prone, and we don't get to see him a lot during the seasons. Dak Prescott is that same person. These last 2 to 3 seasons, every start to the season, there's something wrong where he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. I hope, first of all, I hope you get better. 2, I hope they don't cut you, because I don't know if I was an owner, what if I would do, especially when I didn't do much in the offseason to make sure that if you did go down, that we will be solid on the backup quarterback end. Now, I don't know Cooper Rush. I haven't even seen him play. But from what I've heard, Cooper Rush is either a decent quarterback or not that great. And what people want to hark back to, mostly Skip Bayless, is his game with Minnesota that he won. That's fine. but he's going to have to play in week 2. So we'll see about that. And then last but not least, Buffalo beat the defending Super Bowl champions, the LA Rams, 31-10 blowout victory for Josh Allen, which Buffalo and Josh Allen are the Super Bowl favorites. Now, let's get to week 2. Um, and so the schedule for week 2, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Giants. And I'm actually going to take Baker Mayfield over Saquon Barkley over the Giants. I know that they are 1-0, and I know that the Giants are trying to make a splash. Shout out to New York. I'm living in New York, so going against this team was kind of, probably a death wish. But listen, it's all good. I kind of want Baker Mayfield to kind of get back on his game and everything like that. So I think they'll pull it out. You know what I'm saying? Indianapolis at Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville wins this at home. They'll be back at home, so I believe this is their home opener. So they'll be good. I think Indianapolis takes an L here. Miami at Baltimore. I'm going to go because this is good. This is Tua, Lamar, quarterback for quarterback. I'm gonna go Baltimore here. I think it'll be a close game. Miami is no slouch, so I think it'll be a close game here. New England at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh wins it. TJ Watt is nothing to be um and that defense is nothing to play with. I feel like Pittsburgh will be either a top 3 or either number 1 defense in for this season. So look out for the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this game. New York Jets versus Cleveland or at Cleveland. Um, I don't hold too much stake in the Jets. I've heard from a lot of New Yorkers around town that the Jets ain't really that. Now Jets fans will tell you different, but we'll see what happens. But I do have Cleveland winning this game. Now, one of the games that is highlighted on the schedule is Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Now, New Orleans has had Tampa Bay's number on the regular season tip for the last about 6 or 7 seasons, and 4 of those seasons, or 3 of those seasons, I believe, have been Tom Brady as seasons, and so he's lost to New Orleans in uh, the regular season for a while now, and so I will look for Tom Brady to get some payback this year. But I don't hold it against New Orleans because New Orleans is still a great team. So I'm looking for this to be a very, very, very close game that could either swing the pendulum, but my answer is going to be the GOAT. I think he'll pull it out in a close game. Washington at Detroit. Now, I could be biased here, but I'm gonna go with Detroit. I think we pull it out after seeing that game with against Philly, losing by 3. We really could have won that game in a lot of senses. We had a few hiccups, but I think we cleaned those hiccups up this week, and riding the momentum of that game 1. I think we will come into I think Washington will come into our house being it's a home opener, and we will get it done. No, that's not our home opener. Our home opener was last week. Sorry. Atlanta at the Rams. I'm looking for the Rams to kind of bounce back, but I'm also looking for Atlanta to bounce back too. They lost a close one to New Orleans last week, so I'm looking for both these teams to bounce back. So this will be a close game too, I believe. But I'm gonna look for the Super Bowl champions to edge this out. They lost that game to Buffalo in a very, very interesting fashion. And I don't think that's going to be good for them going forward if they lose 2 in a row. So look out for the Rams maybe edging out the Falcons in week 2. All right, Seahawks at San Francisco. I see the Seahawks winning in San Francisco. Um, we got the Cardinals at Las Vegas. The Raiders. Um, Kyler Murray might still win out here, but don't sleep on Vegas either. But I do see Kyler Murray maybe going and getting his first win at Vegas. Cincinnati versus Dallas. I definitely see Cincinnati bouncing back and getting giving Dallas their second loss of the season. With Dak Prescott down, it's kind of, you know, I don't want to say easy pickings, but it's kind of easy pickings to kind of get him now. I'm not going to say Cooper Rush won't be great at the position, but we'll just have to see when we get there. But I do predict that Cincinnati and Joe Burrow will make a splash and get back on the right foot with a 1-1 record. Houston at Denver. I believe again in this situation too. Uh, Denver will get back on a good foot with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson will have another great game. He'll probably throw for like 350 for 100, and they'll probably win that game, bounce back. And I hope the coach understands that in those situations, you let your leader lead. And if the players want him to lead, then you let him lead. So I'm going to look for Denver to edge out Houston at home, right? Chicago at Green Bay. I look for Green Bay to kind of bounce back as well after their loss. I know Aaron Rodgers has been in the heat for a lot of things over the past couple years since he, lied about his immunization and, kind of just being a prima donna in the green, in the Green Bay locker room and everything. And, sometimes it's hard to play for a player who has a lot of media attention around him, whether uh that be even positive or negative, more negative than anything. And I think what Aaron Rodgers is getting from even a lot of people that love him is a lot of negative media attention. And I don't know if he knows how to react to it and take it, but you're gonna have to adapt to that because that is your reality in a sense because you kind of made that your reality. But I do see Green Bay maybe edging out Chicago for at home for week 2. I do see Buffalo at home versus Tennessee, winning that game as well. Philly and Minnesota. Philly is at home for this game. I do see Minnesota edging that out, giving Philly their first loss of the season. And finally, Kansas City versus the LA Chargers. Actually, that is actually done today. The Kansas City um, actually beat the LA Chargers today, um, 27-24, in which, let's see, in a great AFC showdown. You feel what I'm saying? So, um, listen, we can sit here and say like, yo, the AFC is stacked. Let's just say that the AFC is stacked. So when we see these now, Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City is going to be a great it the AFC is going to be a great division to watch in the playoffs. You feel what I'm saying? So we'll look out for that. We'll check out for that. We'll probably get Scrap back in next week for his picks, um, for week 2 or his week 2 reviews and his week 3 picks. All right. I love you guys. Be easy, stay breezy. All right, be good, stay good. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to hear from us on the show, please put that down in the comments. Anything that we talked about today, please put in the comments. What do you think? What are your predictions for week 1? I'm sorry, week 2. What do you think about week 1? How did it go for you for NFL? Um, and the honestly, to all my people who play fantasy, how's it going over there now? You know what I'm saying? After week 1, let us know in the comments for everything. All right. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at underscore grind it out on Instagram and the Grind It Out Show on Facebook. You can also watch this video and more from our clips and everything on the THC Media Network here on YouTube and on Twitter and on TikTok. All right. Thank you guys for listening. To our listeners, thank you so much. We love you so much. We appreciate you. To our viewers, we love you and thank you so much for watching. And y'all be good. This has been another one. That was the wrong sound. One more time. Y'all be good. I love y'all.